I am so happy to be joined by Spectacular Smith, who is a man of many different things, from Pretty Ricky to being a businessman yourself in many different ways in the digital and the tech world, to mentoring other artists. You've done it all. How are you doing?
I'm doing spectacular.
That's the way to get started. So let's get started. Of course, at a young age, your dad got you and your brother interested in music. You performed in front of a TV all alone until one day you were in front of many, many people performing. What always stuck with you growing up, getting involved in music?
Well, it was really relationships, honestly. Like I realized that relationships are the new currency. And when I was growing up and seeing the way that my father moved, he was a guy who basically wanted to grow the business, which was his group based off of relationships. So we would do a show and he would tell everyone that I don't want any money from you. I just want for you to get me more shows. So he made me understand the power in building a relationship. And I feel like that's extremely important in this day and age, and people don't really realize the power of that. But he showed me because it worked so well that we end up with 2 to 3 shows every single day. Like we was performing like freaking 15 times a week. It was insane. And before we even knew what social media was like that, they would say our names and women would just run up to the stage. Girls would just run up to the stage because we just did that many shows. That was our marketing strategy.
And did you have a favorite venue that you've performed at? It can be recently or a decade ago or whenever.
Well, House of Blues is always like my favorite in terms of the smaller venues. However, of course, arena is great. We performed at Wembley Arena before, and it was a massive arena. I had fun. I was battling Chris Brown on the side of the stage, dancing. We was going at it back to back, and that was an amazing experience as well, just thinking back. But yeah, I would definitely say that was my favorite place to perform and in terms of like arena or venue, but my actual physical place to perform, I would say was Japan. I remember being on stage and then like they were singing all of our songs and I'm like, dang, I didn't know we was this big in Japan. And then we would get out and we would go through like the back and then all the fans are there waiting and they're like screaming and screaming and back then I was a young kid and I'm like trying to get a phone number. I'm like, what's your number? And she's just like, "Ah." And I was like, what is your number? I'm like, what number? And I realized after the fact they couldn't speak any English. So I was trying to get the phone number and they didn't speak any English. So it made me realize how big of a star I was that somebody who didn't even know English was singing my song word for word. And that was just a moment for me.
And what has it been like over the years? Are you ever nervous before you perform? Is there a special habit that you have before you perform?
Never nervous before I perform. It's my first love and I look forward to it. So there's no nervousness on my end. And a ritual that I do, I like to meditate before I perform and I like to eat pineapples. Like that's my thing. So like everybody have these riders. My rider is like baby oil, tank top, and and some pineapples. And that's my thing. I love pineapples, my favorite fruit, and I just enjoy it before I go on stage. And I get my mind right, make sure I get some peace, my kumbaya time, and relax my soul and my body and my mind, and then get ready to perform. I do my
And last,
push-ups. I do my push-ups and my arm workouts, my chest workout, my ab workout every single time before I go on the stage, and then we end with a prayer.
and what's something, do you like performing in amphitheater? Well, I should say, do you like performing outside in amphitheaters, inside in arenas? What's better from a musical standpoint that people wouldn't know, in your
But what
opinion?
people wouldn't know when you're on stage, you don't realize that you don't see nobody. Like it's all a blur. So even though it's like a sold out crowd, you can't see anybody. So as a performer, you really just focus on the back of the arena and everything else is a blur. The only time you really see people is when you look down and see the people that's in front of you. But you can't just perform to the people that's in front of you because then you neglect everybody else that's in the arena. So when you're performing, you just got to look into space and then like perform to the left, look into space, perform to the right, look into space, perform straight to the back, but you don't see anybody. So you kind of like in your zone and you're just performing to really nothing. I mean, I wouldn't say the people are nothing, but like mentally, like you don't have anybody to focus on. And then sometimes you'll lock eyes with certain people at the bottom of the floor or the sides, and you make some type of eye contact. But most of the times you're just looking towards the back to entertain everybody because they all feel like you're looking at them. So that's a hack.
Wow. I appreciate you sharing that because everybody thinks it's so nervous to get in front of a big crowd like that. Um, and then what's something do you like playing outside in amphitheaters better or indoors, would you say? I always have found that
Definitely
interesting.
indoors. I'm not a big fan of outdoors. Even though I done performed in front of 30,000 people, 40,000 people, festivals, it's not my thing. The money is better because when it's outside, it can fit more people. So you get paid like triple, double. But I love inside because you can feel the energy. Like when you walk on stage, everybody's like screaming and yelling, like it brings that energy directly on the stage. Like I speak as a speaker, but it's different when you're performing and they're like singing your song in an instrumental cut off and like they're singing on the top of their lungs and they're saying your song word for word. That's a different type of energy.
And speaking of energy, is there somebody that inspired you in music and in business at a
I
young
would
age?
say Master P was always someone for me to admire. I love how he got to bounce around from industry to industry and he conquered a lot of industries, man, from business to entertainment to products and he's really somebody to look up to. He was a basketball player in the NBA. It's like he lived for like five people lifetimes. And I always looked up to him and now he's my partner. You know, he's my partner and now we're creating millionaires together with my school, Spectacular School of Business, as you can see right here, Spectacular School of Business. And that's my executive coaching platform. And then we have a Spectacular Academy for more entry level. But yeah, he's my partner and we're doing great things. And just to be able to see him come in the game and be one of the top moguls almost of all time that came out of the music industry and to be able to sell 100 million records is just phenomenal.
And of course, I know you've also done some work with Kevin Gates, if I'm correct. You've done some work with Soulja Boy. A lot of great names on that list as well. So you've been able to kind of also mentor people at times as well, and they can share knowledge with you back. What about in the business world? Is there a specific leader like a Bill Gates that ever inspired you, or a Steve Jobs?
Hmm. I would say in the business world, I would say Robert Smith, and what he's doing in private equity. I think he's a phenomenal individual. I think that Steve Jobs is definitely an innovator, and I look up to him and the things that he does. And then Jeff Bezos, he's like a freaking mastermind, and in the way that he delivered Amazon Prime and he transitioned to Amazon Video. He bought the catalog, so he got the best movies in there. And then he came and he started from books, and then he transitioned to this online freaking extravaganza. And being able to get your packages in the same day was just phenomenal, just to see how that rolled out. And Elon Musk, I can't forget about Elon Musk. He definitely inspires me to step my game up as a businessman to create all these companies and make them into multiple billion-dollar companies. Like, I mean, how can you not admire somebody like that? Super innovative.
And what's something that is different about the business world than when you're on stage jamming out to music in front of thousands of people?
What an impact that you make. I mean, when I help somebody make $1 million and I get to help them break a generational curse in their family, like that feels great to me. And it's hard to explain that feeling. It's a different feeling than being on stage and women screaming your name and saying how amazing you are. But having somebody cry and tell me that I changed their life and going through my program was life changing, that does something special to me, especially because my mom was a single mom and I saw her struggles. So to be able to see a single mom have that pivotal moment in her life, and it came from me to get that aha moment to turn her whole life around to impact and save her family. Like that means everything to me, and that's why I created the Single Mother Project. We gave over $10 million in resources and scholarships and different opportunities to single moms with my partner Mildred's role, and we're going to continue to give back. I mean, we gave away a RV for one of the fire victims in the Altadena fire. And I realized she was one of my students. In 24 hours, me and my partner teamed up together and we got her a RV to now live in front of her house that got burnt down by the fires. And her husband went into heart surgery and he was living in their car. So that's the type of thing that we do for our community. You know, we leave no man behind. And that's what we truly believe as the spectacular family.
And a few other questions. What is something that has always maybe inspired you to work extra hard? You obviously mentioned it's great when you're able to change somebody's life and inspire somebody in the business world or sing on stage. But is there anything else that you can think of?
Was giving them tools and resources that would help them progress forward. That's key for me because when I was coming up, there's a lot of things I didn't have. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know anything. So for me, I had to realize that in order for me to move forward in life, I got to help people move forward in their life. So that's why I even created a tool called AI. Some people say AI. That's ADWIZAR.ai. And it's to give them tools and resources and build AI because AI is the future, whether you like it or not, right? People missed the dot-com boom. Some people missed the real estate boom, you know, when it came back from '08, '09. And some people miss a lot of wave, the Bitcoin wave, but this wave, the AI wave, is the future. AI employees and being able to have these different AI tools that help you not only reduce costs, but also be able to do your job more effectively to increase your IQ level and make smarter people even smarter. It means people that's not so smart, very smart, once you learn how to utilize this tool. So it's an amplifier. So I created a software to make sure that they can help their business cut costs and then be more proficient.
And something that's really interesting about AI, and obviously you would know more about this than me, but is AI gonna ever make it to a point to where concerts won't happen? Where do you see that going?
I don't think that's going to ever happen in terms of AI taking over that. I do think they're going to enter that market where it's a competing facility that has entertainment and it's through AI bots and different clones and things like that where you can probably license your body, your face, right? You can have spectacular clone and it's actually a bot and is going to go perform and speak like me and go talk and have speeches, and I can send my clone to go and go do a speech and I can do multiple speeches in multiple places, and since you know you're getting a clone they get a discount. I do think that's going to be a possibility.
Interesting. And how do you feel about the way that the music industry is headed with streaming?
Well, streaming is going to be a thing where AI is going to take over that as well because music is going to be so simple to make. Like it's going to be to the point where I just click a button and make a whole song in my voice and my cadence and my style, everything. And so writing music is not going to be a thing like that anymore. It's just going to be, this is how I trained it. And I can print out 10 songs at a snap of a finger with the beats. So beat makers, they're out of here. And songwriters, they're out of here. Think it's going to just change the game. It's going to amplify them, right? So it's still going to be a need for them. However, in terms of them being the only solution, it's no more. It's going to be crazy.
And obviously, a big thing about entertainment is a creativity element. And I feel like that's something that maybe some humans might say, I'd rather stand in front of a guy who wrote his own music, even if the beat doesn't sound as good. But would you still say that most people are not going to take that route? Whatever sounds fine, they're going to go if they don't care about the creative perspective behind it?
They don't care. As long as it sounds good, I'm telling you, they're gonna have AI entertainers. They're gonna have AI artists, and then they're gonna create the visuals for those artists, and they're gonna create music videos for those artists based on prompts. This is all gonna be rolled out. If it's not happening already, it will happen.
Well, we're in an interview right now. Do you see interviewing possibly going away with artificial intelligence in ways?
Yeah, but I still think it's gonna be a need for the actual person to talk about their new experiences and teaching and takeaways. I do think it's going to be necessary to have the actual person, but interviews will go in that direction as well.
Good to know. Because I'd have to adapt to that if I want to make a big living out of it down the road. Because I'm 20 right now. And then two other questions I have is what is somebody or who is somebody that you have performed with? Um, not with Pretty Ricky, of course, but well, with Pretty Ricky, but maybe you were at a festival with them. Who's somebody you've enjoyed performing with a lot?
I think Bow Wow is a good performer. He brings the energy and he really knows how to command the stage. And touring with him is a great because we both give the fans what they want and we give it to them in our own way. So he's definitely a great performer. So I would definitely say Bow Wow, he's dope. So if you've never been to a Bow Wow concert, no matter how old you are, I think it's a great experience. And of course, Pretty Ricky is going to give you everything you paid for plus more for sure.
I hope so. And then, kind of, my last question is what is something that people wouldn't know about um, songwriting that you experienced through that process?
Well, songwriting is really about real life experiences. So if you ever like say something very catchy or something that you say all the time, something that is a phrase or something that's in the everyday life, those are the biggest hit records. So usually whenever you're going through an experience and you write that experience down, other people are going through that same experience. So when people can relate to that music, it helps it catch on fire. So when writing a song, just make sure you can relate to the people, make sure it's catchy in a way where it's repeatable, make it simple and make the hit.
That's bold. And would you say, do you enjoy writing songs for other people as well? Just got to ask that.
No, I'm not a really songwriter type of guy in terms of like my passion is that my passion is really more helping people in my school, right? That's why I do free training, right? It's literally social media income masterclass.com. Like it's free. They go there, they have fun, I teach them, and if they want to do more business with me and want me to elevate them even more, then they can come into some paid programs and things like that. Even my Bible study, I do a Bible study just to teach people who can't afford it and that's where my heart is. And for me, songwriting doesn't do that for me. And but when I'm writing for myself and my group, that's a different story because I enjoy that because I'm with my brothers, right? Versus me being with a total stranger, a guy is just like, it's not my thing. I rather impact the people with their businesses and their personal growth and things like that is what I really enjoy and admire about somebody who's willing to take action that they was uncomfortable about and change their life and their family legacy.
Amazing to hear. And just got to sneak in one last little thing. Do you have a favorite country that you've performed in?
Paris. Paris, uh, Paris is really good. Is that a country? Because I skipped that class when I was in school.
France.
France, yeah, that's one. France, Paris, France. So that was really the best place because when I went there, it made me understand that I made it. It's like, damn, I made it. Like I'm looking, I can see gold on the buildings and big gold statues, and people can't speak English on the train, and we on the, like this train. I was like, wow, I made it. And it was my favorite place because I was like, man, that was a moment that made me realize that. Because where I'm from, I mean, my mom used to tell me if you hear these sounds, just drop to the ground because it's just firecrackers. I forgot what she used to tell me, but like she used to say it was like firecrackers or a train or something. But that was came to find out later on it was gunshots. That neighborhood was so bad that people was getting killed and shot every single day. So for me to go to Paris and see gold on the buildings like we from, that would have got stolen. They would have came back the whole head missing and on eBay, right? So like that made me feel really great about myself and know I was heading towards the right direction.
And one last thing I just want to end because you mentioned obviously that those were gunshots, not firecrackers. How do you think we can inspire more people who are African American to do great things out there and to kick ass and to get out of poverty? Do you think, and this is, you don't have to answer in full, but do you think it's more of a systemic racism thing, or would you say it's more of a do we need to have good dads and good parenting in households? What do you think it is?
I think it's community. Community and accountability solves all problem with the right person guiding you. I think getting the right mentorship, getting the right communities, because if you are a good seed in bad soil, you won't grow. No matter how much sunshine you get, no matter how much water you get, you got to be able to take that good seed and put it in good soil where you got great sunshine and you got great water. Somebody's going to water you, somebody's going to help you shine, and you can grow as fast as you need to. But when you don't, your growth will get stunted. So we got to make sure that everybody you find that community that loves and care about you, that want to see you win, that want to see you grow. When you give them a problem, they give you back a solution. When you say you can't, they say you can. And those are the people you need around you with the right person guiding you that already have the blueprint to success. And that's what's going to solve the rest.
Amazing to hear. Was spectacular. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, and we hope to see you out at a concert if you're ever in the Midwest.
All right. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.